Hi, everybody. Welcome to our past life party. I have Danny here with me, and we have three guinea pigs waiting in the wings who will be on with us as we go into their past lives. I'm going to turn it over to Danny so I can talk about his experience with the garden, and then I'll tell you about my understanding of the mechanics of the garden. So, go, Danny.
Go, me. Hi, everybody. Good to see you all. So, a while back, Nancy Jean and we did a past life show, and we were doing some readings just on cards. And when Nancy Jean created her garden, someone came up with an idea, Alma, to do an oracle past life garden. And that's what this is. Nancy, you've already done a show on it, but I've just gotten mine. I've just received it. And so I wanted to, number one, thank Alma for creating this. It is absolutely beautiful. So when I open it up, it's neat. It comes into this. I don't know if you can see this.
Yeah,
Anyway,
I can now. It looks good.
there you go. So it comes in a little pouch with this beautiful tiger's eye pendulum, and then it has 4 stones to toss on here, along with a sheet, wherever my sheath is. I lost my sheath. Anyway, that explains the garden a little bit and talks about how to work it. The thing that I found with this and with your garden, Auntie Jean, is that we have to become familiar with it as users. So I don't, for me, when I first threw on it, it was like, this doesn't really make that much sense to me. However, as I became more comfortable with it, and I think you used the word meditate when we were talking about your garden, which is so true. You have to become super familiar with how this is laid out. And then it just, the power seems to build as you get more comfortable with it. So I'm a newbie. Nancy Jean is an experienced user. So
I'm the most experienced user just because I got the first one.
Right. But anyway, I just wanted to throw it out. I think this is the way that I am using it as a newbie is using it with cards, pendulum, and then throwing the stones. So I use multiple tools to get to the past life.
Right. That's right.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what I do too. I've got my simple one set up. I've got a deck sitting here right away. Even when I read past lives just with cards, I used 3 distinct decks that all had different kind of energy with them. And so that's kind of how I think you just ease into it with what you've got, with what you know. And if I used tarot decks, but oracle decks will work. I have a past life oracle deck. I mean, there's a lot of different ways to approach this. What I'm going to do is, bye, Danny.
Hi.
This is this is my table,
Oh.
and these are the stones. This is petrified wood, and it looks like a really intense red jasper, but it's because it was petrified redwood. Then I've got amber, and amber is fossilized tree sap. So these 2 are what we call the ancestor stones because they relate to something that was alive and is still here giving us energy and vibration. Then for clarification about the past life, we have quartz, where wherever you throw that in the garden, it gives you clarity. And citrine is where you find your abundance or where you draw your energy from. That's the little orangey rock. Okay? So
it looks pretty white to me.
It looks
just
white
saying.
to you?
Yeah.
Well, mine
It's
looks
got a hint. It's got a hint of orange in it.
okay.
So
Yeah,
we're good.
citrine can be that way, But the quartz is quartz, right? You don't have any trouble identifying the quartz.
Don't
right?
have any trouble with that.
Quartz is the easiest one, guys. So what we're going to do now is we are going to cut to one of our likely subjects here. So I think I'm going to pull in.
Before you pull
Sure.
her in, well, one of the things that you said that I found out was true as well is using different decks. So the first deck I used didn't feel good at all. I was like, oh, this is not quite right. And then I used a different deck, and I also use tarot and oracle. And I found that the simple tarot works really well. And the oracle that I used was angels and ancestors for like past lives. And that seemed to really resonate with the board and with what the cards were saying as well. So make sure that you tap into the energy of the cards and make sure that they're in alignment with each other, if that makes sense.
No, it's like everything else. You'll find things that work really well for you, and then in one regard, and then not in another. So just use what you got, guys. And so our first person we're going to pull in is False Teeth Real Tro. And we're going to bring her up in here. Hi. She should show up. Is she here? Where'd she go?
Here she is. Here she comes.
Okay. Are we sure?
Yeah, she's there.
I can't see her on my screen.
Really?
There she is. Okay. It took a while. I think I'm stressing out StreamYard. I have way too many of us. And
Jean, can you hear me, honey?
Yeah, we can hear you fine, babe. So
you may want to go to somebody else first, because I had 2 phone calls back to back, which made the cell phone go to where I cannot hear you.
Okay,
so I got to go out.
We're removing you from the stream. Now, this is YouTube at its best. Now we're going to run into another familiar face that y'all might know.
I don't know.
We'll see if Ann comes. Well, okay, Ann. They all disappeared. Wait a minute. Maybe they're not disappeared. Oh, they're up here. Okay, I got it. There she goes. I'm a clicking fool, man. What I'm going to do, Danny, is do you want to do Dr. Gail first? Do you want me to do her first?
Sure. I don't care.
Okay. Then I'm going to remove myself.
Oh, for your own, Danny.
Me and Dr. Gail. Yes. All right. Woohoo. Okay. So Dr. Gail, here we go. Now, so talk to me, Dr. Gail. What do you want to know? Just a general?
Yeah, just a general past life, because I've seen a lot of my past lives. And in fact, when said she was going to do one on medieval for me, and I immediately saw what I was doing there. So anyway, just surprised me.
All right. Well, you're going to surprise you. So it's not me doing anything. The cards that I'm using for you, Dr. Gail, are the Starman cards. I don't know why that deck spoke to me so clearly.
I'm not sure either. I got an idea.
So this is the artist that did a lot of David Bowie's artwork, and they're regular old tarot cards. And the way that I do this, I do it a little different than Nancy Jean. Of course, we can use the pendulum to see what time frame you're in. That's going to take a little too long for this. So I'm just going to lay out 4 or 5 cards to get a story. The major arcana cards for me are maybe something that you did in the past life in that story. And then we're going to throw some stones on the garden, on the past life to get a little bit of clarity on it. So as we go up, Dr. Gail, some past lives with Dr. Gail. Past lives with Dr. Gail. Give me a past life that she would like to know about. Past life that she would like to know about. Past life that she would like to know about. One more.
Don't embarrass me, Danny.
Whew. All right. You were in the sex trade. No, I'm kidding.
I was actually leading the sex trade, probably what you were going to say. I was the star of the sex trade.
All right. All right. Okay. Ooh. Ooh.
Ooh, ooh.
Ooh, ooh. So we didn't get any major arcana cards with this. Let me just look at this a little bit and try to pull out the story. I got the Three of Swords with this. So in your past life, there was a lot of heartbreak. The Five of Pentacles, a lot of loss. But with that, heartbreak and loss, you've got the Ace of Swords, which is all about truth and lighting up. In this deck, I'm feeling it's you like taking charge and lighting something up to become the Queen of Cups.
Well, that's good.
And right. And in that Queen of Cups, there are secrets that you have that you are in control of. And the last card that I got, where I said I had to pull another one, I got the King of Swords. And so the story that I'm getting with this is in this past life that you had, it almost feels like I'm getting two past lives. One past life, you were so hurt, and maybe it's this current life now, that you said, oh, hell no, that's not happening to me again. I've got the Ace of Swords. I'm going to become the Queen of Cups, calming with a little bit of secrets in my cup. And I'm not taking any crap from anybody anymore. So with the King of Swords, and kings can be female energy. So it's not like, queens can be male energy too. So don't think of queens and kings as male and females. But there was something where you were, let's just pull the pendulum and ask the questions. Is this two past lives, or is it one past life? And so with the pendulum in this beautiful tiger's eye, the way that I run the pendulum is I ask it to give me a circle if it's ready, and it is. Is this one life, or am I reading two past lives? Two past lives, give me a yes. And it is a yes. So the past life, this heartbreak and this loss was a past life. This current life, where you start off with the Ace of Swords, is your current life, where you're going, oh, hell no, that is not, I'm not going back to that heartache, to that loss. I'm evolving, I'm changing. So is there something, let's throw some stones because we've got this. Let's look at, let's throw the grounding stone first to see where she is on her grounding. Dr. Gail and her grounding in this current life.
Mount Shasta.
Almost right in the middle. It almost didn't bounce, but we've got this older male energy, which is the King of Swords energy, right? I'm not taking anything. I know my path. I know where I'm going. Don't get in my way because I got a sword in my hand. Don't do that.
That would be true. Yes.
Yeah. Let's look at, let's add some protection to this. Let's see where the protection is going to be on this. And your protection fell on the ancestors. So you are relying on your ancestors. And I'm getting a huge draw to your star family for your protection.
Right.
Do you feel that?
Oh, yeah. They're always around me.
Do I need to ask that question? No, I knew that already too. All right. So as you're out there in Shasta, let's look at, I'm going to throw the citrine next with prosperity. Let's see where the prosperity is going to fall off the charts. And this is, so your prosperity, interesting, it fell in between enlightening, emerging, and it touched on power. So your prosperity is going to emerge as you step into your power, and that's a little power of enlightening, I'm thinking, the 3D people.
Exactly.
Okay, so let's look at your clarity. Let's look, this is going to be interesting. All right.
Clarity's just coming into play now, I think.
You think? Okay, so this is, it fell on destiny and it fell on, hang on one second, I have to read this, on Pisces. Huh. Spices, imagination, spirituality, secret activities, and destiny. So what I'm getting from you is that in this current life, what you picked up from your past life is the strength and the determination never to have the heartbreak and the loss that you had in that last life. And you're starting out with clarity coming from that past life destiny that you had. And there's something when you bring forth what more clarity from your guides and your galactic family in Shasta, that you're going to start taking off with and have your prosperity and clarity as time goes on in Shasta.
That's great.
Does that make sense?
It does make sense. And I do have a question. How many lives have I had in Mount Shasta?
How many lives? Oh.
Can you answer that kind of question? Like how many lives do I have with Lemurians, I guess I should say.
I can. So I'm just going to knock this to 1 through 10. Okay. So that's how I'm going to set up this quadrant. And we've used other, I don't have it with me right here, but Nancy, Jean, and I have a dowsing chart that actually is gradiated. So you can pick that. So how many lives on a scale of 1 to 10? And let's, we can multiply that by 10 if we want, is how many lives did Nancy Jean have in Shasta? Can you answer that for me? Give me a yes or a no.
I never was in Shasta. It's Dr. Gail.
Dr. Gail, sorry. You've got voices in your head, Dr. Gail. All right. So it will be able to answer both of your questions.
And I think Nancy Jean is wrong with her saying she never had a lifetime.
I think so, because the pendulum clearly says yes, she has.
I think
All right.
so.
So, on a scale, has Dr. Gail have more than 100 lives? It's giving me a no. Has she had more than 10 lives in Shasta? I am getting a yes. So more than 25 lives. It's giving me a no. So for the sake of brevity, in between 10 and 25 lives in Shasta.
Wow, I wasn't expecting it to be that much. I did expect it to be some, but not that
Well,
many.
And again, when for that, I think that it needs to be, for you and me, just to be singular and get really clear on it. There's a lot of extra information coming into my awareness right now with, everybody in the chat and everybody backstage, blah, blah, blah. The extra voice that will just pop out of the blue and tell me. But, this is just a general thing on how to do that. But I think that you've had
your voice in your head is Nancy Jean.
Nancy Jean. It's not a bad voice to have in my head.
No, it's not. Well, thank you, Danny. That was a great reading.
Awesome. Thank you, Gail.
Danny is going away to the place where I send people on this channel.
Uh-oh.
And his table's going too, because we need to see my table. There it is. Yay. Okay, what Danny was talking about, and it's a good chance to bring this up. If you look in the table, he and I created a dowsing garden. That's a common theme, looks a lot like this table. And you can use this to do numbers and years and ages and things. So I'm going to just start off because Dr. Gail was interested in the medieval times. So I don't know if she was or not, but that's where we're going. Can we look at Dr. Gail's life in medieval times? Yes, we got a big yes. North South. If you want a copy of this dowsing garden, this particular sheet, you can go to my website, www.crystaldirections, and that's directions with an S.com. There's a resource tab. You can download that as a PDF and have it for yourself. So
that's great. Thanks.
So what we're going to do is we're going to look first before we put the stones really out on the board. In this life, was Dr. Gail male or female? You were clearly female because it's building going up. There's a male and female, and when it swings further, you were female. Okay. Was your family wealthy? Okay. I'm going to start to throw the stones in. I think you ran the show, lady. I think you were.
Surprise you.
No, I think you were the lady of the castle. Okay. And I'm going to roll 4 stones. I'm going to lay them out. I'm going to get the impressions I have from them, and that will be you in the Middle Ages. So you didn't end up riding around with javelins, which are not what they were riding around with. They were riding around with spears.
That's what I saw myself doing.
Wow. This was incredible. Okay. You were an Aries and you were very headstrong. This stone here, that's your amber, which is the true essence of your family. It bounced from here and it hit that egg and then bounced back into power. I've never seen it do that before. That was so much fun. You lived with great, great clarity, but what stopped your abundance was them limiting your beliefs. But I think you stayed out in the real world when that happened. I'm going to see, what I see clearly is you walking around the ramparts of a castle-like structure, and it's cold. So I think you're in the north. Was she in a castle? Yes. And was it uh, in the Nordic regions? Yes. So no wonder you're going to love being on Mount Shasta. It's like the old days.
Snow.
Yeah. And I tell you guys, if I do a past life reading for you, that's just sort of starting it. That's not really getting into it. We have 2 other people who've made time for us today. So I'm going to swap Dr. Gail. Dr. Gail's going away. Say goodbye, Dr. Gail.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
And I am going to pick Miss Ann.
Hello.
I'm going to put you up here so they can have the board below. A couple questions that came up in the chat. Where do I get a chart for this? And I'm writing at this almade.co, and it's co. I didn't misspell com. It's co. If you go to her website, past life gardens are available there. And I explained to you where you can get a chart that can help with divination. What's your question today, Miss Ann, other than do I have a past life?
Well, I was just wondering what my past life was.
Okay. I have a really cool deck of cards that you cannot find easily. They're no longer printed because they were done by a woman who has since disavowed all psychic stuff. And she did this with Brian Weiss, but they're really interesting images. So we're going to pull a card first, and then we're going to see how accurate that is. Okay.
Okay.
You were a scribe or a writer, and I have no problem questioning that. Okay. Now.
Okay.
Now, this is where you can use our other thing, and it speeds up time. There's another way to do it where you start, was this before the year 1000, then you go up every century.
Okay.
You can get down to the year if you want to do that, but it's very long, and these people probably
don't have time for that.
Right. We don't got time for that. But if I was doing a real reading, we would. So what we're going to do is, this is 1 to 1000. No, this is 1 to 100. Anyway, we're going to go all around, and this would be to get you into the 2000s. So I'm going to ask, which century were you in? Oh, you were scribing the 1700s.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Okay, which is a good time to be a scribe. And now we're going to do the typical questions I ask off this. Were you male or female? Yeah, you were clearly male because you're going way up high here on the male, and you're only barely dipping into what's female. So you're female. Okay. Were you in a clerical life? Yes. Okay, we're going to see what what the basic pattern of your life was. Remembering the two red stones are the ancestor stones, and that talks about the heritage you came from, and this talks about the quality of your life. So
okay.
Your family had a lot of power. You came from a family with a lot of power. And for those of you who say, they always say you came from a family of a lot of power. I've done people who were peasants. I've done someone who died in a hut. So it's not always that way. Came from a family of power. You died, you lived to be very much older, and you sought to help people. You sought to help people get relief from what was happening about them, because there's something in your ancestral DNA that makes you very resolved to help people solve problems. And what brought you abundance was you put up with the limiting beliefs that you felt really clouded you from what your real life goal was, which is to release people and to help them see their full vision, which I think is an interesting statement for you.
It is, isn't it?
Yes, because that's kind of what Anne's done in this life. Did you have a specific question you want to ask? And then Danny gets to work on you.
No, you said I died at an old age.
Mm-hmm.
I like the fact that I tried to help people, because I've heard in the past I've had some pretty bad, I was a Not the best person in the past, but I think that's it, Nancy.
Okay, well then I'm going to disappear like a little genie and
Okay.
take my board with me, and I'm going to bring Danny in,
Thanks, Nancy.
and I'm going to remove me.
Oop. And then she's gone. Danny, you're both muted.
There we go.
That's it.
There we go. Hi, Ann. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good, good, good. All right. So, I heard Nancy talking about let's go fast. So obviously maybe I went a little too long, but I'm just going to take like 30 or 40 minutes with you. It'll just short. It'll be fine. All right.
Okay.
So I'm going to ask the same question and I'll probably get the same answer. Is there anything you want me to look at or specifically or just a general?
Just a general.
All right. The question is, what does Anne need to know about a past life that she needs to hear right now? What is the message for Anne from a past life that she needs to hear now? Past life. Wow. Okay. So just 3 cards real quick. Where's the best camera? Is that it?
Yeah.
So we have a celebration. We have the 9 of Swords, a lot of worry, and then starting out in a new beginning. So as I look at this story, it's kind of similar to what Gail had, except you start out with a celebration that started that had some sadness that created a new beginning. So I want to see what that new beginning, what is that new beginning? And let me just throw. Well, it wasn't very good because you got the star card. Sorry. Is that better to see? So that new beginning, it starts out, rough with this 9 of Swords, but you take off with it. So let's take a look at, was Anne a male or a female? And I'm getting a female.
Okay.
And is this female, is it younger or an older? And I'm getting a younger.
Okay.
Okay. And let's throw some stones on this. So let's look at, I still want to find out what this new project is. We can go back and look at, what was the celebration, what was the worry, but this is the one that, the new beginning. So let's look at, I'm going to pull out the quartz for clarity. What is the new beginning from this past life? And it's kind of, hang on, I need to get my cheat sheet because I did find it here. And the clarity fell on resolved and right. Now, right is the right side of the cloth. However, something was resolved from this worry.
Okay.
And it was right. And it is about, hang on one second while I look into, about Libra, marriage. Well, here's the 4 of Wands, which could indicate marriage.
Okay.
relationships, business, and partnerships. So briefly, the story that I'm getting is that in your past life, you had this beautiful marriage, something happened, and it feels like, not that somebody was cheating on you, but your partner passed away. You started out something new again. And in that you had maybe a newer relationship that you resolved everything that was wrong in the old relationship.
Okay. That's good.
So does that help in any way in this life?
Well, I'm into change right now because I just retired and I'm making change.
Okay.
So that's interesting. Not sure, but
Okay. Let's look, since you're retired and you're looking at change, and here is a new beginning with this. I'm trying to get that so the card doesn't glare so much.
right. Yeah, you just did.
With this Ace of Pentacles, let's see. Well, it's certainly your destiny. So we got resolved right, and we have destiny over in the left. And it's Gemini, which is in communication, short trips, and your family. So that is where you're going to find some prosperity. Or that's where in this past life you found prosperity.
Cool.
And grounding. Let's see where your grounding goes off the charts. And it goes up into enlightenment. And your career and your ambition. So you're grounding with all of this. The lesson from this past life is staying grounded in enlightenment with your business. So it's not all about the money. It's all about having some family with this citrine.
Okay.
Letting go of some past hurts. And the amber, the protection is in this life, you're protected with your soul family.
That is really nice.
Yeah.
It did kind of relate.
Well, and again, these are really fast, so we can dig into it more on a big reading. So thank you, Anne. Thank you for allowing me to tap in.
Well, thank you, Danny. I appreciate it.
All right, let's see if Nancy Jean's awake. Here she comes. Oh, all right. We have Frosty Tarot.
Hello.
Hello, how are you?
Doing well, and yourself?
Doing well. All right. So do you have a specific question, a specific area?
Well, I know that when Nancy Jean had done a quick one on her channel, she said that I had come from, I've been a long line of psychics. And I do know that my ancestors are ET, and they're here with us. And so whatever you could get out of that.
Okay. I'm hearing I need to use the Starman cards for you.
All right.
So, oops. If I can find them. Hang on, here they are. Starman cards. All right. So, what information need to hear from her galactic ET family, past lives? What information does she need to hear? What information does she need to hear? Well, as I'm shuffling, my vision went right to this word here, power. So it's just stay in your power. That's what I'm hearing. Stay in your power. So often we give up power and we don't need to. Stay in your power. All right. So there is choices. Two of Pentacles. Five of Swords. I'm hearing pick your battles. Five of Swords is like a winning at any cost, but still I'm hearing pick your battles. And the ET card, which is the Star. So let me just ask, was this past life fighting where, was this past life in Atlantis? I got yes. Was this past life, was she a warrior? Yes. Let's see if we can get, so I'm getting that you were a warrior in Atlantis. Let's see, I'm just going to drop them all at once and see what we get. Okay. Grounding, you were young. Your clarity came from your ancestors, but there's something unresolved in the clarity, which I'm hearing is what made you want to fight which made you want to fight because you had some unresolved issues. Also with this Two of Pentacles, which way do I go with that? Also, I got in between, and I have to use my cheat sheet, the clarity fell in between right, and it fell in between Libra and Scorpio. Marriage, relationships, transformation, and sharing resources.
Mm.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, what I just heard when you said that is that my middle son had passed like 3 years ago. I have 5 sons. And 6 months after he passed, their daddy passed. And so I know that they're up there together.
Yeah.
And I believe that they're helping me. And I do have to make a decision. And I know this has to do with a past life. And you're bringing that forward to me. I didn't know it was from a past life, and I know that I need to share this on my channel because I've been finding fossilized body parts that, I mean, like fingers and hearts and all kinds of fossilized, they're rock, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so I know that it has to be from a generation that something happened that I'll share on my channel, but I know that I need to do that. You know I need to share that information. And I thank you for that because
Sure.
I have all these pieces, of
Yeah.
things. Thank you.
Right.
Thank you, Danny.
Sure. Thanks for sharing that. Great. Okay.
Thank you.
I'm here. Bye, Danny. I'll be right. I'll see you in a little bit. Can you hear me?
I can. Thank you, Nancy.
Okay. All right. I'm going to start the same way I did with Anne. I'm going to try to pull a quick fast life card and try to. I was following along with you and Danny, and I pulled knighthood was the card I pulled out of here, and I thought maybe that was mine, but I think that was really what Danny was seeing. So
thank you.
Oh, communal living. I think you lived in a self-sufficient tribe of people, and I think you've been a warrior for a long time, whether it meant going to war or being protective warrior, but I think you've been a warrior for a long time. So let's see, in this life, we're looking at communal living. Are you male or female? Oh, you're definitely male.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And with one of the things was she a chief that ruled over others and contained what they did? Yes. Okay. So you were chieftain in a patriarchal tribe.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. And then see, what was the 4 stones that were the foundation of this life? What did you learn? Okay. You're finding clarity about reassuming that leadership role. You didn't like having to always be the one in charge. And so you looked at this life as a release from that. You found you've tended to find more power when you can assert yourself in a more masculine way. And the next change we're going to in the universe is going to be really welcomed by you, because for women who have strong tendencies and take charge, we've been told not to do that. We're walking into a period of time where we're going to be asked to do it. It's going to be really important. And your ancestors are part of your life this time also.
Yes, thank you.
So you were the chief, and you had to make the decisions, and that I think you've run a lot of lives as warriors, as knights, as the protector. And I'm looking at the earthly world, the 3D world. I'm not looking at the outer space one, but you're happier when you're dealing with communal living, where everybody sort of agrees to the rules. And this division that's going on in this country must be making you nuts.
Yes, I feel very divided, because a lot of my family are Republicans, and I love them. But daggone, man.
I know. Make a choice, Did you have any other
Yeah.
questions about this life? Anything you wanted me to ask it? I'll throw the quartz in, and we'll read what spot it lands on if you pick an issue.
With this direction that I figured out with Danny, to showing the things that I have, will it come with open-mindedness, with peace?
Oh yeah, you've got front and enlightenment. So put it out front and learn from the enlightenment. The problem for you is it also sort of hit over here into imbalance. I think part of it is, and this is in the power sector, by the way, of these words, when you assert yourself now, you feel imbalanced. You have to learn that is your balance.
Okay.
Okay? Yeah,
that makes sense.
Well, thank you for being brave and agreeing to reveal your life here out in front of everybody.
It's all good. It is all good. Thank you so much, Nancy and Danny.
Okay,
I so appreciate it.
Okay. And guess who's coming back now? The man with the board here.
Oh, me.
Yes. And my board's under me and your board's under you. And we have some people who wanted to get readings. And I went through and found their little, and we'll just roll really fast on it, Danny.
Okay.
Okay. This person is Vicky Howell.
Hi, Vicky.
Hi, Vicky.
Past life. Is there a question or just
No, I would just like to have a past life reading.
Okay, here we go.
Open
One
us.
card. One card. Past life. Okay. It's Vicky. A female. So I'm getting that Vicky was a female. I mean, a male
Mm-hmm.
in a past life.
Mm-hmm.
And I got her past life. It was there was a lot of movement in the past life, a lot of being upside down, feeling like she didn't belong,
Mm-hmm.
but she worked it out with community, with a group of people, and I'm getting a sense of Wicca community. So let's just see. But that was soul family.
Yep.
And I am getting male. So the Wicca, I don't know much about that. So and the clarity that I got is also male. And the prosperity is to release. So it feels like if she, it feels like there's a release of I'm trying to put words into it. Her past movements, her past feeling of never really focusing in on
Mm-hmm.
something, kind of being a little upside down with something, that should be released and let it go. It's just something that happens. It's a creative thing. Trust your soul family in this life, and be grounded. It feels like I'd have to dig more into this male energy, and maybe you can help me out with this in this brief time. But
Yeah,
it
I've
feels
got the same thing for her. I did it with the cards, the past life cards. She was a spouse, she was a father, she was in Asia. And it meant it was a lot of working and struggling, I feel, in this life. But you learned to do that. But the other thing you've also learned from that life, and this is the feeling, I'm going to roll the clarity and see if I'm right. Yeah. You felt incredible responsibility in that life, and this life you chose to come as a female to be free.
got it. Yeah.
Got it? Does that make
Yeah.
sense with what you're seeing?
Makes sense to me.
Well, yeah. But then you're a guy. But no, it meant that you didn't pull that extra burden on yourself. So, Vicky, you were and you were a very successful man in China, by the way. I mean, not financially, but you were with your family.
Right. Yeah, I got the Chariot card for her when you were saying, that she was a successful businessman. It takes a lot of strength to drive that Chariot where you're, in the right direction.
Right.
And you don't have a Chariot like that if you're poor.
No, he had assets, but he never abandoned. A lot of people will make lots of money and pay no attention to their family. And this guy
Right.
was a real family man. He was real and devoted to his spouse. Okay.
All right.
Okay. The next one is Esther Farrell wants to know about a past life and how is it affecting her now? Throw that little wrinkle in on us, Esther, and see how far.
All right.
Okay. And like this, guys, when you're doing a past life reading, what we're doing is scratching the surface.
Yeah.
You know, it's a lot more. Oh dear.
Wow.
What'd you get?
I got a lot of secrets is what I got. Coming fast. I got I got 2 major arcana cards right off the bat. So on a 3-card reading, that's pretty powerful. I got the moon card, things coming into light, but they're still coming in from it's an emotional thing that's coming up. It's got you a little crazy. I got the high priestess using your intuition again with the light of the moon. The high priestess, it's just a blue light. The moon card in this deck is actually in color, but you have some strong foundations. I feel like in that past life, though, you were not so much. You were playing with the psychic abilities too much, and something fast happened that rocked your world a little bit. So it feels like to me, and I'm going to throw some grounding on it. And again, this is super, super quick, but it feels like to me that you're too out in, since we've been reading a lot in space, too out in space, too out in your head, that you need to be more grounded in the 3D into nature. Let me just see what I get with the wood, the grounding, and it goes into ancestors past life. And amber, protection. I got past life, female, power. So your protection is, you find it in your power, and it touches this past life, but it just touches it. So it feels like this foundation is what you need to focus on in the moon cards, the 2 pillars of foundation. And I feel that that's through your feminine quality and the clarity. It's going back to the past life again. I don't know if I'm being that clear on the past life. And your prosperity, it's right in between embrace and emerging. So you have emerging prosperity that you're going to need to embrace. Sometimes we forget to embrace prosperity because we don't feel like we need it or we're worth it. But it's coming. And maybe this this prosperity, I'm looking at the moon, that it made you crazy that you were always trying to get more money, more things. I don't know. I think I'm going to close it down because I need to pull more and more.
Okay. Yeah. What I saw was, or the 3 cards she got was persecution and inquisition and transportation. I got to get the hell out of here. And you went out and hid out on a farm. You went out and hid in a rural area. Girl, you are psychic. This is not the Salem witch trials. You can go forward with your own peace.
Yes.
That's what I'm here. That's what I got for you.
Yeah. Big time.
And that's how it's affecting you now. when those things break through you, that old soul bit rises up and says, but remember what they did last time. They're not going to do it to you this time. We have got another one. And I want to thank Rosa Barnes. She was very sweet and contributed to our efforts. That's lovely.
Oh, thank you, Rosa.
And reading, please. Maybe it would reveal to me why I can't progress in this life. What we're going to do is we're going to give you a reading, and then we're going to let you think about it and decide if that's the block, because you have to find those blocks yourself. People can point out to me all day long why I don't move forward, and I'm still sitting there where I wasn't moving from. So I'm just telling you. But I'm gonna pull up one card for you on where you've coming from. This is why it helps when you're doing this with a real live person, because what I got is vows, and I'm going to ask, were you a nun? No. Okay. Were you a priest? Okay. You were a priest in a past life. And I'm going to see if you were willingly a priest or not. Okay. Did the faith come out of the family structure? Oops. You're not going anywhere. No, you went into it of your own free will. Your ancestors had been in the church business too. And your amber says you like to embrace it, and you were very religious, I think, when you were younger, and you now don't feel that sense of vow and that kind of structure around yourself. That may be part of what's holding you back. Just understand where you are now and seek the things that help you spiritually, and they don't have to come from a given form. What'd you see, Danny?
Hang on.
Okay.
So here's what I got very briefly. And again, I'd love to tap into this, more, but we don't have time. So I got the Knave of Chalices, which is you're hearing. So in that past life, you're hearing things, maybe a lot of different things. It's pulling you in a lot of different directions. You weren't going, maybe you were just doing too many things. What I got, I asked a card, what does she need to release? And I got the direction guardian choosing your path. So whatever story, past life that I would get, the message would come from focus in on the direction that is going to sing to your heart space.
Mm-hmm.
And let me just go drop a grounding stone, and it went to above and Sagittarius, higher education,
Mm-hmm.
and travel.
Mm-hmm.
So it feels like your past life, you were pulling too many strings, listening to too many things. Now you need to focus in on a single direction.
That comes from your own structure, not from someone else's.
Correct. Yeah.
Okay, guys, we're flying through these. You have no idea. We've got two more, Danny.
Two more.
Deanna Gonzalez, sending love and light. May I please receive past life reading? For your greatest good, I'll tell you.
Greatest good. Deanna Gonzalez.
And then we have someone from Finland.
Finland. Deanna Gonzalez. Deanna Gonzalez. Oh.
Do you want to go? Or you want me to go?
Go ahead. I'm still
Okay.
rolling.
You've got what I got for you in the cards was you've come into this life with a pretty clear plan. You wrapped yourself up with some relatively decent authority figures that have helped guide you well. I'm going to see if that's been a generational pattern. Because you got baby and authority figures. Let's see.
You got what? Baby and authority figures?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, you're clear. You're clearly bringing in the light from your ancestors. You've been female, and you've lived most of your lives as a female, and you've had a lot of enlightenment from the time you were quite young. And your amber entry, the thing that's most solidly within you, is that you intend to embrace life. And that may be confusing to some people because there's a lot of people who hide from life and don't embrace life. But I have a feeling for you. Let's see if my instincts are right. Is her question really that she seems misaligned with those around her? Yes. Okay. Are you in their lives as a lesson for them? No. Okay. Have they been put in your life with the challenges to teach you? Yes. I don't know if this life you pulled the right authority figures or not, but in the past you've come in like a baby, ready to absorb, and you carry a lot of ancestor light. So you should be able to kind of get yourself past anything.
Yeah. A lot of ancestor light with the hermit. So
Oh yeah.
yeah, your past life this is karmic. You have both the Knave of Swords and the Hermit here, young and old. So it's like your ancestors, what you brought from the past life is a lot of wisdom, but a lot of youthful energy with this. There is some grounding and release of some past hurts, but I'm getting the clarity comes from releasing, being wise enough to release some of this loss. And the citrine fell right in between younger and this life. So for me, what you can learn from that past life is stay on the younger side of this card, this light that you're shining. Just stay excited and youthful, and know that what you're coming in with is karmic. This is something, and Nancy Jean, I think, was saying something about helping other people.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the karmic thing where you're shining light. You're shining old soul light in a youthful way.
That's why she has the baby and being an authority figure. I bet you when
Yeah.
people looked at you when you were little, they said, she knows everything that's going to ever happen. And we've got one more, and this is our lady from Finland. And I lost her name because I'm like that at times.
What?
Well, it's hard doing. You guys, you ought to try this sometime. This is really gets very confusing.
Okay.
I'm
Yeah, it
getting
is
there.
hard. No, nobody knows.
You should have seen Danny setting his 2 cameras up earlier today. That was
Oh
a
my
lesson.
gosh.
Lesson in why I hate StreamYard.
Well, as long as
Well,
everybody was laughing besides me.
okay, the lady from Finland, what she wanted to know, and I can't find her now, and she should be blue, but she's not. There's the one. 1, 2, 3. Okay. Yeah. She wanted to know if Finland was a place she'd always lived, but she was from Finland. So to the lady from Finland, I'm so sorry. I lost your comment.
She wanted to know if her past lives have always been in Finland.
She wanted to know if she'd lived in Finland a lot of times, or where she kind of maybe another place where she'd lived.
Okay.
Here it is. Here it is. Ta-da! I am now in Finland.
Oh.
Where was I before? She wants to know where she might have been before.
Oh.
So.
I don't know if I have enough time to dig into that.
Okay, we can do yes, no on being from having always. Well, I think you've probably lived a lot of other places in Finland. I mean, we've all lived a lot of places. So.
Right.
I'm going to focus on, can I pull a card that'll give me a better idea of where you lived?
She has had multiple lives in Finland. I'm getting that.
Okay. When you moved, the way this reads, I think you moved back to Finland, or you moved there from somewhere else. Did it feel like you were coming home when you got there? Because that's something to look at in yourself. Because often we'll go back to the places we like to. Trees and ships. And yeah, you lived in Egypt. I pulled Egypt. And you also have lived in a place where when you think of the word trees, you think of this place, and you've also been a sailor and lived on ships. So that would cover a lot of ground. So let's see.
No, wait a minute. If she lived on a ship, that doesn't cover a lot of ground. Covers a lot of water.
Of the globe. It covers a lot of the globe.
Just had to throw that out.
Okay, but really fast, what I pulled in this life, you don't feel anchored, you feel imbalanced, and you it feels like you were happier in a past life when you were an older male. Let's see. Was the older male the male in Egypt? Yes. Well, there's a lot of climate difference between Finland and Egypt. That's all I got to say.
So what I got is I got a lot of water as well. I got the Star card, the King of Cups. Both of them are in water, and the Star card for me is whatever you were in that past life was of a higher order. It wasn't so much the like a low level worker bee, but it was on a higher, like a king, queen, or something. However, I did get the Eight of Pentacles, which means really working hard at something, being a perfectionist in your craft. So some kings and queens just sit around and collect taxes. That wasn't you. You were actually working for the betterment of whoever the people below you were. That's what I'm getting intuitively.
Yeah. So I want to say thank you to Anne, Gail, and Linda for coming and sharing your life with us today. I want to thank Danny for coming up with this brilliant idea of let's get this all together.
This is fun.
I'm going to run one more time. That's where you can get the past life garden. And let's see, find her. And that's where you can get the garden. It comes with the garden. It comes with a cheat sheet. It comes with a pendulum, and it comes with the 4 stones, and they're defined as to why that energy was chosen to be in that. And if you want the thing I was showing you earlier about the Dowsing Garden about figuring out time, you can go to my website, www.crystaldirections.com. And in the resource page, there's this chart. There's also a little booklet called Letter to Robin that you can download. It's a PDF, and it will explain to you how to use a lot of this stuff. This is Danny and my jazzed up remake. And down here at the bottom, this little funny triangle that you can't really see, it's a vibration chart so that you can check your vibration every day and sort of see, am I staying in the higher vibrations? Am I falling into the lower stuff? And that's people say, oh, go raise your vibrations, but then nobody tells you how. And this is a way to do it. And it gives you a way to do a quick check.
Here's a bigger sheet that I pulled, and I just stuck it down at the corner there.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And we all. Oh, and False Teeth thanked us for the reading, and other people thanking us, Danny. She can't see all the comments, but we really enjoyed having you here. These shows don't do anybody any good unless y'all come and share it. And we're gonna go move it over onto Danny's channel also. We thought we had that worked out this morning. This is the wonders of StreamYard. Anyway, I'm going to end the broadcast now. Danny, do you have anything you want to say in conclusion?
Just thank you, Nancy Jean. And thanks everybody for watching. Thanks everybody for participating. And again, these readings, they're really, really short, so if you want a more in-depth reading, then you need to contact us so that we can dig a lot deeper into it. And I'm a newbie when it comes to past life readings, and Nancy Jean is the experienced one.
Okay. I'm glad you didn't say an oldie, because you're about to get cut off. I can remove you,
I know.
And also, I've got a show coming up that's going to be interesting. I'm going to work with Dorothy Morgan, and she's going to show sort of ways to look for your past life in your own chart.
Yeah, nice.
Which will be fun.
That's great.
So, anyway, talk to you guys later. Bye.
Okay, bye-bye.